From a rumored Jack Black collab to the best Adventure Time reference, here are 50 random facts in Fortnite. And when I say random, I really mean it, because did you know that Fortnite is secretly in the Wicked movie? It's true. During the Defying Gravity scene, the climax of the whole film, they actually used Fortnite skydiving sounds, and it's confirmed by the movie editor himself. Recently, we got Adventure Time in the game, and fans were shocked to see BMO included as a backbling and emote. But when you look closely, you'll see they're playing Fortnite in Fortnite. That's right, Epic designed a custom 2D version that fits on a Game Boy, and it is insanely cool. The best part is they even ported it over to the minifigure emote, where you can see BMO playing Lego Fortnite. Now, we've had a ton of locker bundles over the years, even I was lucky enough to get one, but some of them have been straight up random. Like when out of nowhere, Maisie Williams from Game of Thrones got a locker bundle with no explanation. Well, she's a celebrity for sure, her boyfriend isn't, but for some reason was a part of the bundle. Now, 2 years later, they broke up, and it is pretty awkward. But there's a skin who just came out that is already breaking records. Jake the dog from Adventure Time in only one day got his very own outfit, his glider, and an emote. He is the first collab to be all three of these things because, you know, he's kind of the only one who could shapeshift. Speaking of cool emotes, did you know Test Your Mic could actually show your character's strength? While testing, it looks like it shows the same meter for every single outfit. And while that's true, if you use a large skin like Power Armor or the Giant Chicken, it'll smash the base completely. Now you may think Chewbacca just looks like that, after all he is a Wookiee, but it turns out his Fortnite skin is a costume. When you put kicks on him, it reveals he's been wearing pants the whole time, and I feel deceived about this. One of the cutest facts you didn't know involves water sprites. With all of these armored trucks driving around the map, you would think they'd look both ways before crossing, but they just walk into the road. Luckily, Epic thought of this, and the vans will actually stop to let them cross. This season, we got a new OG pass that brought characters like Power Chord and Rex back with a redesign. This also included a loading screen that recreates the iconic version from 2018, the one inspired by Jurassic Park. One of the coolest emotes in the game has to be Flawless Victory because it has so many random secrets in it. Not only can the dummy change to Scorpion and Sub-Zero based on what skin you're wearing, the default design is a nod to Reptile from Mortal Kombat. That's because Reptile is often used in YouTube videos to showcase fatalities because he has no blood, so you won't be demonetized. It's basically a funny way to joke about Fortnite having to be family friendly. And did you know that May from Chapter 4 is the only skin with mismatched socks? Luckily, you can fix it with their edit styles. And fans have been waiting for Arcane to return for years now, and it didn't even come back for the release of Season 2. Instead, at the start of the year, Fortnite trolled fans with this item shop. They put Gia, who looks like Jinx, and Moxie, who looks like V, right next to the Have a Seat and Hang Loose emotes. In the year 2025, every single game you could think of has crossplay. It's the industry standard at this point. Well, did you know? Fortnite is the reason for this. Back in 2018, they accidentally turned on the ability to play with your friends on Xbox while you were on PlayStation. It worked perfectly, and they turned it off because Sony asked them to. Well, Epic were able to convince Sony to let them keep it, and after that, PlayStation changed their entire policy to allow any game to have Xbox crossplay. Since then, the gaming industry has never been the same. Here's a hilarious piece of trivia. It turns out Fortnite's prices have gotten so bad that Lethal Company's crossover is more expensive than the game itself. On Steam, it costs $10, while the employee skin of Fortnite is just under $15. In fact, for the whole price of the bundle, you can buy 2 copies of the actual game. In Snoop Dogg's crossover, you might know that he originally chose his name because his mom used to call him Snoopy. Turns out, he's a big fan, and that's why his Fortnite edit style is actually inspired by Snoopy the dog. Renzo is a character a ton of people forgot about, and that's a shame because he has an insane design feature. You might be wondering, why is his cape burned? Well, when you drop into the map with his glider, it reveals the truth. Yeah, he forgot to account for the fact he's riding on top of an open flame. Things get real weird when you realize that Fortnite has been saying some freaky things on Twitter lately. For some reason, they woke up and decided they had a foot fetish, asking for Godzilla to stomp on them and liking his foot pics. Then they posted that everyone loves a big pickle, which is just straight up weird. And then just recently, Clicks dropped his whip emote, and they said you don't want to be on the receiving end of a soggy snap. Or maybe you do. Eek. Here's a controversy you definitely remember, when Calamity had jiggle physics all of a sudden, and then Epic removed it, claiming it was unintended. Turns out, not the case, because it was both intended and accidental. During that update 7 years ago, a developer left a breast physics file in there, proving it was not in fact a glitch, but a joke between co-workers. The embarrassing and unintentional part of this was them forgetting to remove it from the dev build. Another feature that Epic experimented with was Guff's tail. Leakers recently found that it wasn't originally going to be a bunny tail, it was actually going to be much longer and flop around. No idea why they cut it, but maybe it would have gotten in the way of kicks or freaked out during emotes. Speaking of tails, in the Battle Tiger outfit, if you look closely, you can see that he's actually using a tiger tail as an accessory for his tunic. Also, did you know that a 2-year-old's hiding in Fortnite? The BMO emote I showed off earlier literally lets you sit down on this tree stump with a face. And well, that's actually a character from the show, and she is literally 2. You can also spot a snail in this emote that's a running gag from Adventure Time. Like, they hide this snail in almost every episode, and it waves at us. Now, it's hiding in Fortnite. When Finn was added, everyone was so focused on his weird butt shape that nobody talked about his backpack. When you have this equipped, it wraps around his shoulders unlike literally any other skin. With other back blings, they kinda just float there. Players made a horrifying discovery when they saw the toasty emote and looked closer. At first glance, it looks like you're just making toast, but actually, you're burning these adorable creatures alive. And for some reason, when you hire Brutus as an NPC, he'll launch grenades at players that kill you in one hit. In Season 3 of Always Sunny in Philadelphia, the gang has a dance-off, and the song will probably sound familiar.
And go!
This was in 2007, over a decade before Fortnite turned it into the Disco Fever emote. And if you're wondering what song it is, this is where things get even weirder. It's actually from the 2005 EA game Time Splitters. At one point during the infamous boss battle with Dr. Doom, there was a chance he could randomly taunt us with a surprising dance. Fortnite have been roasting cryptocurrencies for the entirety of Season 2, releasing a parody of Bitcoin named Dillbits. They have constantly told us not to take Big Dill's investment advice, and there's a reason for it, because the coin's value just plummeted. In a free loading screen they gave to everyone, the big Dillbits crash has freaked out Fletcher Kane, and it's all to make fun of how unreliable some of these meme coins are. The Wolf and Siren skins are both part of the same set, and they're basically just gender-swapped versions of each other. And yet, these two hold the record for the largest gap between counterparts. There has been over 9.8 million sightings of Siren compared to only 3,000 sightings of Wolf. Why everybody hate Wolf? And when Reload was announced, they threw a bunch of money into advertising it, from a commercial with Kai Cenat to ads about a free D-Res Destroyer pickaxe for winning a game. So, fans logged in, won their matches, and then nothing happened. Even though we were in the lobby staring at the newsfeed saying we'd get the pickaxe for playing, it just never released. In fact, Epic has not acknowledged it since and swept it under the rug. Tactical sprinting has been in the game for a while, and when you run, your character will have a determined look on their face. Well, that's unless they're a cartoon character with limited expressions, then they'll just look really angry for some reason. During the second Marvel season, if you picked up Doom's Mythic while wearing his Pandora edit style, this would transfer onto the Mythic and show his new armor. It is one of the most unknown hidden details of that whole season. There's also a character in the Sonic universe named Espio the Chameleon, and he actually shares 2 voice actors with Fortnite. Both Troy Baker and Matt Mercer, the voices of Agent Jones and Midas, have played Espio, which is just a random fact for you. And today I learned Alan the Alien's backbling has a typo in it where he accidentally put Fortnite when trying to get to the Fortnite island. If you've seen it, it's a reference to the show where he meant to go to a planet named Urath and ended up at Earth instead. In the concept art for Arita Vane, you can see her wearing a green wristband and hair ties. This was because she was matching with Annie Kondo, who was wearing Arita's colors on her bracelet. Except while Annie kept the friendship bracelet, Arita didn't release until years later. By then, I guess they fell out because her actual skin was missing the reference. And did you know that ever since release, Recon Raptor has been the only outfit with a broken bone? His pinky is completely dislocated and freaks out when skydiving, emoting, even just sitting in the lobby. It is disgustingly broken. With the Last Airbender collab, every character has a unique pose, and these are all inspired by real posters from the show, except for Korra. She is actually doing Zuko's pose because she meets him in The Legend of Korra. If you've ever done the Rubik's Cube emote and hope there's a 1 in a million chance your character solves it, good luck, because it turns out it's impossible. When designing the cube, Epic made it so there weren't enough colors to fit every side, so no wonder you keep struggling. The rock out emote has been around for a long time, but barely anyone realizes it has an insane Easter egg to a legendary musician. The electric blue guitar is a reference to Dimebag Darrell, an artist who died in 2004 and is considered one of the greatest metal guitarists of all time. Here's a meaningless piece of trivia for you that might help in a Fortnite quiz one day. We got more gaming legends in the first 2 months of Chapter 2 than we got in the entirety of Chapter 5. Kinda insane when you think about it. Also, if you've seen any Godzilla films, you probably know he can't swim, and that's why water never goes above his knees when you play as him. Well, Fortnite specifically chose his height, so you could just walk through the ocean. It's a shame his footprints on the map didn't match his real feet on the ground though. Talk about a missed opportunity. And fun fact, Tomb Raider is the first collab in Fortnite's history to change owners between its first and second wave. During Chapter 2, Lara Croft was owned by Square Enix, and when it came back for Chapter 6, the franchise was sold to the Embracer Group. They're the same people who own Goat Simulator, Duke Nukem, Chivalry, and more. Now, there was a huge rumor in 2025 from industry insiders that Fortnite was trying to get a movie made and kept being turned down by studios. According to them, the success of the Minecraft film was gonna change minds and cause it to finally happen. So what did happen? Well, Tim Sweeney, the CEO of Epic, made a rare response to the rumor with one word: false. And yet just a week later, we got to ride the movie hype with reports that Jack Black was coming to Fortnite as a skin. It's perfect timing considering he just blew up from the Minecraft movie, and everyone has been talking about this, from discussing film to thousands of TikTok videos showing apparent leaks of a Steve outfit. So did Fortnite mess up? Well, obviously all the TikToks are just like AI generated slop, but more importantly, the Jack Black rumor was posted in a list of apparent collabs, and multiple companies in this list have come out and said it's not happening, making Jack Black very unlikely. So here you are, you could be the guy in your team who tells everyone they can't do the chicken jockey in Fortnite, for now. And when Epic transformed hundreds of emotes into a Lego version, one of them had a very sus animation.
Hey, yo, what the f?
Well, after months of people laughing at this, they updated it in March with a brand new dance. With the upcoming Star Wars crossover, Fortnite is dropping its first ever 30-day collab season in Battle Royale. This is probably going to be the trend for the next few years. And recently, Epic released the Mythical Legion bundle, and these henchman outfits are all based off the bosses from Chapter 5 Season 2, the Greek theme. That's because they were the guards back then, and now you can just wear them as skins, which technically means you've got your own bootleg battle pass. For Chapter 6, Spawn Island got an upgrade it has never had before. Out of nowhere, you can find a cooler box, and while it seems underwhelming, this is actually the first searchable container ever added to Spawn Island. It took 8 years. We also waited forever to see Epic fix an insane bug. You were able to pickaxe people in cars for a ridiculously long time, and it was only fixed this season, making this one of the longest running glitches in recent memory. Baymax was added to the game at the end of 2024, literally nobody was expecting it. But what's hilarious is that he should technically be a part of the Marvel series. That's right, Baymax was originally from a Marvel comic and is considered part of that universe. I had no idea. If you want to drop part 2 and think we missed a random fact, let me know in the comments. It's been Tommy, and keep it here on Top 5 Gaming.